my channel. Tired mom over here, grateful tired mom, because I just got to open and close a show at New York Fashion Week. Not just any show, but the Adore Me lingerie show. And I gotta tell you the full story. I'm gonna tell you all the behind the scenes details, like all the stuff that you might not know about in this video. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel, click the little notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos and so you can support me and make me feel hype. Let's just get ready and talk about New York Fashion Week and all the behind the scenes shizzle from a mid-sized girly, because being a mid-sized girly is slightly different from being a straight size model. And a straight size model means sample size. It means the traditional size that models have been, which is like literally 0 to 2 or 0 to 4 at a push. And I'm not a 4. I am about a 12 at the moment. Ranges, right? Like literally I wore a dress this fashion week, the purple dress. No, not that dress. The black dress from Patlo. That was a size 8. I didn't ask them for a size 8. I guess they just know how their clothes fit really well, and it was stretchy and it fitted like a dream. I also wore, 14s recently. This is a reminder that the size on your clothes and your label does not matter. It does not decide your worth. You are more than that number. So let's start off with how I even got booked to walk at New York Fashion Week. If you haven't followed me a while, subscribe. But no, if you haven't followed me a while, you'll know I've been modeling for 20 years. I started working with Adore Me in 2015 when I was the ripe old age of 25, and everyone had already told me that models' careers are over by the age of 21. If you haven't made it, it's never going to happen. False. So that's exactly what I did, and this is a reminder to all of you in this industry: go after what you want. Don't wait on an agent or a phone call. I just started showing them some love on social. Started communicating. They let me know that they're doing the New York Fashion Week show and would I be interested, and I wasn't sure because I haven't walked at New York Fashion Week in, I think it's 4 years. I walked for Rebecca Minkoff, I walked for Chroma, I've walked for Kristen Siriano, I've walked in L'Oreal Fashion Week in Paris, and a bunch of other things. Not that I don't have confidence in myself, like I know I can rock a runway. I'll rock a runway on my deathbed, you know what I'm saying? But it's just been a while and I just wasn't sure, like it's hectic. But thinking about the brand, thinking about what they represent, and then they said, we'd love you to open and close. Well, you need me. I think I'll make it work. We started all the negotiations, etc, etc. I just started to get really excited, really nervous, and one thing about me is when I get nervous, I basically get IBS. TMI. But if we're being real here, my TED talk was the worst. You figure out, like, with your agent or whatever, like, does this work? And then you basically have to tell people that you're going to be in New York Fashion Week. So I spoke to my girlfriend Amber, who does usually do an annual trip to New York Fashion Week for her birthday. Her birthday is the 10th of September. Mine is the 11th. We're both moms. We were ready to turn up a little bit. I was there for work and she was there as well. She's an influencer, Amber Lee Diamond. Go check her out. Go to some events, and like we would just be able to have this joint experience together, and she'd be able to come watch my show and scream and cheer. So the next step of New York Fashion Week was then letting PR agencies know that we were coming. And we didn't let too many know, because it turns out when you're doing a New York Fashion Week show, the day of the show, designers can do different things. Some designers are going to want you to fit a week or 2 weeks in advance. Some of them are going to want you to fit on the day. So even if your fashion show is at 6 p.m, like this Adore Me one, it was actually 6:30. They will have you come in much earlier to get ready for the show. So our actual call time was 2 p.m. for a 6:30 p.m. show. So that's 4.5 hours. You can do a lot in 4.5 hours, but essentially this show and many shows are at a venue. This one was at this incredible venue in New York called the Angel Foundation. It honestly is like an old cathedral or church or something that's been converted into an event space, super gothic. But at that venue, because it wasn't a venue used for one show, it was used for multiple shows all on the same day. That's why you had to get there like extra early too, because essentially you're on a conveyor belt. Like every show is different, but this location, all of the green room and hair and makeup was downstairs in a basement. It was hot as balls. If you didn't see, New York was literally having a heat wave during Fashion Week, so it was like high 90s, and like you're down in a basement, and when I tell you, hundreds of people, hundreds of models, and everyone's like sponsored by a brand, so there's just like branding everywhere and products everywhere and everyone trying to get the content. There's a lot going on. If you are someone who does not deal well with a lot of people in a close proximity, also if you don't do well with no privacy, fashion shows might not be for you, because you you basically have to strip off butt naked, especially if you're doing a lingerie show, and just get changed in front of anyone, whoever who's there. And there is going to be gals, guys, gays, and other models. Honestly, I think that half of the excitement of Fashion Week is the chaos behind and backstage. Okay, this is backstage. Organized chaos. I've just done my fitting, final fitting. Just tried the final shoe choice on and made sure that it was catwalk ready. I literally did a little rehearsal, made sure I didn't fall flat on my face. So everything's good. And hi, what's your name?
Juan.
Juan is going to be doing my hair. What are we doing today?
We're going to be doing some beachy waves back, and then we're going to pull it back a little bit, and I guess we're going to have some money pieces. I'm excited. We're going to look good.
Girl. We're all about the money.
Lighting is everything.
So the next thing is they create looks for the runway. Sometimes you are going to see your outfit before the show, sometimes you're not. I got to fit for the Adore Me show the day before, so I got a sneak peek of what I was wearing. They did ask me, you know, do you like it? Do you feel comfortable? Especially if you're a straight model, there are thousands upon thousands. I think the statistic is there's at least 10,000 models in New York during New York Fashion Week. If possible, and if you feel comfortable, request to try and have your rehearsal, because every show will have a rehearsal unless they're really running late and they're, you know, whatever, something goes wrong. But every show should have a rehearsal where you get to walk the actual runway, usually with the actual lighting, sometimes with the music, but quite often not, because they don't want that to like ruin the show and let you know. But a lot of the time, actually, I lie. A lot of the time I've gotten to hear the music beforehand. You are basically in the midst of the chaos. You find out what you're wearing, or you already know. You get your hair and makeup done. I've had all sorts of different hair and makeup. I've had blue eyebrows. I've had braids in my hair, which I tried to push back against because kind of culturally inappropriate. That was a whole thing. Yeah, so you get thrust into hair and makeup, and they're trying to brush you as quick as possible. And of course, in the back of your mind, you're like, don't brush me, I want to look cute. Sometimes you're not going to. In the midst of hair and makeup, that is when you're going to get someone who's stressed run down and say, models, 5 minutes. You need to be at rehearsal. We need to do walkthrough in 5 minutes. And like, you could be half naked. Your hair and makeup could be like super messy and just like bleh. And you have to like get up and just go and do that rehearsal and hope that it's quick. And sometimes there are girls coming from other shows who are going to be so late they miss the rehearsal, and then they're a little bit clueless of like, oh my gosh, who am I walking before and after? What's the timing? Do they want me to smile? Do they want me to walk completely like bored? Do they want me to be fierce? So after the rehearsal, you're going to run back downstairs, and it's going to be like, okay, 30 minutes till showtime. Let's go, go, go.
We're about to go on the runway.
And with this show, what was interesting was, because it was a shared venue with other shows, as soon as you were ready, there was new models coming in, brand new models that you'd never met, and it starts to get a little bit confusing. And on the wall, there is usually a picture, a printout of all the different models in the show, what number they are in the show, and what hair and makeup look they have. So for Adore Me, for example, there was 3 different hair and makeup looks. So the hair and makeup had to make sure they were getting the right hair and makeup for each show, plus the right show for each girl. So it's definitely like things can go wrong. And one thing that most models obviously come to shows on their own, you have to figure out where all your stuff is, right? And unfortunately, I showed up in this brand new beautiful Good American white shirt that I was super excited about. I thought I looked all cute and chic, and I wore a Adore Me corset under it. I took that shirt off somewhere and it just poof, vanished. Don't know who took it or what happened to it, but it was gone. Don't take valuables to fashion shows. Now hopefully ready for the show, and you're hopefully not super last minute, or you're hopefully not running from another show at the other side of New York. It's time to go. So everyone gets backstage, everyone is like, ugh. Some people are giving calm energy, and I'm like, how? This is, even if you've done this 50 times, the adrenaline. And when you're opening the show like I did, you have to make sure you walk out at the exact moment of the music drop. You have to get that right. You were the star of the show. And Adore Me had told me, start the party. I was like, you picked the perfect person for this. I had to bring the vibes and really set the tone for the whole show. And a lot of shows are very composed. This was the opposite. It was party time. And I think a lot of models get a little bit more intimidated by that, because there are photographers at the end of the runway, loads of photographers. And if you're doing something weird, like me, like a little slut drop, you don't know what angles they're gonna get. You do not know what the photos are gonna look like. So a lot of people want to keep that just composed because they know they're gonna have a nice photo at the end of the runway. So it's a mixture. Obviously, you don't want to F up your career by looking crazy at the end of the runway, because those photos will go out there. But also you got to listen to the client and what they want. Like, they booked you for their vision, and they've spent a lot of time making these designs, organizing the show. Like, it is about them. So do your job. The music's pumping. It's the Barbie song. Perfect for me. I was in my element. Yeah, I time it. I walk out. I'm like, whoa! okay. And I just hear everyone erupt screaming, and it's like the best feeling. I'm sure it's like how Taylor Swift feels when she walks on stage, but I guess on a slightly smaller scale. And you're just vibing off the energy, and it really is the most fun thing. And then you see like the other model when you get to the runway and you want to do something like high five or just like connect, not for every show but for this show we did. And then you go back round, and then you are whisked back into this changing area, probably a different changing area from where you got dressed originally, probably smaller, like tiny. Things are flying everywhere, you're butt naked again, someone's dressing you who you potentially just met. You usually meet the dresser before, but generally every model has like an individual dresser, so you can get changed. You gotta get changed in seconds, not minutes, seconds. You can run back, get back in the queue to go again. And actually the girl in front of me on my second turn wasn't ready in time. It wasn't that she was ready, but I guess something was complicated to tie up, and it just wasn't happening, because again, everyone's stressed, so even simple things like that might not get done. So there was like a pause where she missed going out, and they were like, okay, just go, let's go. So you're like, okay, I'm going. And you go out there, you do your thing, you come back, and you just celebrate. And you go back on with the designer sometimes. We got to go back on with the Adore Me team, which was super special, because like they're so proud of everything they've done, as they should be. And you just have a really good time. And then there's usually an after party, and shocked that like it was just me and a couple of the other girls who actually made it to the after party. Cannot blame the other models. I'm sure they're exhausted. I'm sure their feet hurt. I danced all night with that team because we were just in like a celebration mode. And from there, actually the night before we'd partied, and then there was shows and there was other things for other shows. But I feel like I've given you the gist of like the behind the scenes chaos of New York Fashion Week with some like B-roll. Let me know if you want more stories from New York Fashion Week. You can also check out my Instagram. I posted a few of my outfits. Honestly, it's been non-stop. It was like New York Fashion Week, back home for like a day and a half, see my little one, celebrate my birthday, back on the road to Seattle. And now I've been in Seattle 2 days for Amazon, non-stop content creation, going to conferences, and now I'm in Dallas and I'm shooting all day for Oxford, and then back home tonight on a 10 p.m. flight, get home, school thing tomorrow. So yeah, your girl is pretty exhausted, so shout out to makeup and eye drops, and I do want to be home for a little bit, but I'm also like buzzing off of all these amazing opportunities. So it's an interesting career. You're like so happy you're getting opportunities, but kind of like, but I want to be at home with my baby, and it's balanced. So I'm trying to figure out the balance, everyone. But I'm sending you lots of love. See you in the next video.